So I started it behind the bar when I was 15. 2 weeks before I was 16. Okay. 16 was allowed, 15 not yet. Okay. But I worked in a hotel just outside of Amsterdam, a Van der Valk hotel, which is a big Dutch chain, and they're not known for treating their staff. They're no Google. Let's call it that way. The HR is. Well, anyway, I was on the floor serving in a restaurant, and I hated it, and I dropped stuff. And then the manager, she said, "Why don't you jump behind the bar? We need somebody." And after 2 months, I was running the bar by myself for a 500 restaurant. So wine, beer, and mixed drinks, and some easy cocktails. And I really enjoyed that. So that was sort of the start here. And then when I was 18, I graduated high school, and I stopped the bartending part, but I started traveling, worked in some small bars. And then when I got back, I started studying in Nijmegen. Mm-hmm. And that's where I also got back behind the bar, at a bar called Sterre, where we ran the cocktail program. My later business partner and I, we ran the cocktail program, and that's really where I got the virus, so to say. Yeah. We had the privilege.
You were infected.
Yes, and we had the luck that at a certain point we were making some of the cocktails, and then the bar was bought by another owner, and he gave us a lot of freedom, but also education, and for me, that's still
super valuable.
Yeah, exactly. This is, and it's very funny because the hospitality scene has a big image problem here in the Netherlands.
Oh, really?
Yeah, nobody really wants, especially we're a knowledge economy. Everybody in the Netherlands gets an education, gets a diploma, and then says, "Well, I'm not going to work in a bar."
Right.
And it makes sense because it's night work. It's highly underpaid relatively because physically it's demanding. It's in a sense dangerous at night work and stuff like that. So it had it's sort of a bad reputation. But the main thing for me is that it lacks an educational path. There is no carrot, as I call it. So you're a bartender, and then you want to go up. So you're a notary, or you're in the Dutch, you're a kandidaat. So you're a student notary, and then your partner, and then you own your firm and stuff like that. That's missing. Yeah. So you're a bartender, then maybe a bar manager. Then you got to own your own bar, but bar owners don't own a lot of money, so not everybody does it. And that.
But I guess even when you have your own bar, you're kind of expected to be behind the bar.
Exactly.
So even though maybe you go through these stages, your workplace doesn't change.
No, and we say there's a Dutch saying, it's a saying. I think it's a saying. I made up a saying, but no, one bar is no bar.
I see.
So on average, net profit in a bar is 8 to 12%.
Okay.
So if your revenue is $500,000, which is quite a lot.
That's quite a lot.
You still, and often then there's two owners, you still only make 40,000. Yeah. Split in two, that's 20,000, but then tax, pension, so that leaves about 900 to 1,000 euros a month. So you work very hard, and then you got to open more and more bars. Yeah.
So because it really is very labor intense.
Absolutely, you do 100 hours.
Yeah, it all has to be made by hand. It's not just like, hey, Cuba Libre out the tap. No.
No, you have to make it. Well, you can do it on tap now, but you have to make it. And the problem there is that since there's no education, it's seen as a student job. So you also, people leave after a year, half a year. Yeah. You've invested in education, the whole thing starts over again. So as an owner, you're constantly training new staff. But that education that I got at Sterre, where that owner said, okay, you go with the partner to a bar academy for 2 days. That was very valuable for me, and that opened my eyes that there are educational possibilities. Mm-hmm. So at Sterre, when I got my master's degree, when I was, and then I think it was right after I bought the bar, because I worked at the Radboud.
Yeah.
And
you studied psychology, right?
Yes.
Or was it clinical psychology? Clinical psychology.
Yeah. And I didn't want to... I noticed during that, because I sort of did an internship and then that turned into work. Mm-hmm. And for me, it was quite clear. No, that's not going to be. So then we started a bar. Right. No, I got my master. Yeah. I was finished. Then we bought the bar, but I got the physical diploma because we were painting everything. And then at 1:00, I believe, I had to pick up my diploma. I was sort of covered in paint, and my mom came, and my brothers, and the guy, the professor was giving a speech, and he said, "Well, here's your diploma, but if you just bought a bar," so it's like a bit of an interesting situation and period. But yeah, I started. That's 23 years ago when I started.
Wow. Yeah.
And Van der Valk taught me how to work hard. Because, as I said, they're not known for their HR, so for their treating their staff the best. They're not doing anything wrong per se, but it's not like it's hard work and it's demanding.
Yeah, but it's not like, hey, if you're tired, you can sleep there in the corner. No,
exactly.
Take some food home.
Not at all. No,
it's you're here to work.
Yeah, you're there to work. And you get minimum wage, and you work your ass off. And if you can do a little better, you do a little better. And but that formed me. That's been a very very important part of my career. That's also probably why my parents allowed me to do that job.
I mean, discipline is important to learn, especially when you start your own thing. Because
Absolutely.
you can only rely on yourself.
Yeah, and you have to work very, very hard. So that's what I learned. And so Van der Valk has been, but especially that education at Sterre, that moment, that was, so I was thinking, okay, there could be a profession, could be a career.